Hello, my name is Daniel Johan. I'm here to talk about peer-to-peer software architecture and pattern design. So, what is peer-to-peer? It is commonly known as P2P in short form. It is a decentralized communication model, which means that there is no server or centralized user. Shared resources and content. All users can access other user resources and contents without restriction or limitation. All users are admin. Users are able to interact with other users, including starting the interactions without admin approval. In terms of client and server, users can function both as client or server to other users as well. As you can see, the diagram on your right, all the PCs are connected to each other. There is no centralized user or server to manage their activities. Every user is their own and they can do whatever they want within that mesh. Okay, let's move on to advantage and disadvantage. The advantage of peer-to-peer is that it is easy to install and configure for computers in the network. All the resources and contents are shared equally by all the peers. Eliminating central dependency. This means that if a peer fails, other peers does not fail as well. They can still run perfectly after that. No full-time system administrator. This means that every machine is on their own. They do not need any special system administrator just to manage their resources. Less cost and easy maintaining. The overall cost of building and maintaining a peer-to-peer network is comparatively very less. Moving on to the disadvantage of peer-to-peer. It is difficult to administer because there is no control. The whole system is decentralized and one person cannot determine the whole accessibility setting of whole network. Therefore, makes administrator hard. Secondly, it is vulnerable to attacks and threats because the whole system is easily transmitted over P2P architecture. Example of those threats like viruses, spywares, trojans, and so on. Data recovery and backup is also difficult, and it's expected that all computers should have their own backup system. Let's move on to peer-to-peer example 1. For peer-to-peer network games including online, mostly on real-time strategy games. Previously, peer-to-peer are famous among RTS games due to its capability of sharing information without admin control. Computers are exchanging information in a fully connected mesh topology. Most of the time, RTS games do not need administrator or game masters to host a game, and a game requires to sync with other computers. Pass status of game units by synchronizing on each machine. Imagine that 150 units in the battlefield are moving, therefore required to resynchronize on each machine to avoid lags and jitters. Setting up for multiplayer peer-to-peer network games are much easier with zero additional cost per time. Example of peer-to-peer games like Command & Conquer, StarCraft, Supreme Commander, and so on. Example for Supreme Commander, the game will pause and tries to sync with all the machines that are connected into the game if there is a out of sync units or players during the gameplay. This applies to other games, RTS games as well, like StarCraft, Supreme Command & Conquer, and so on. Moving on to example 2, P2P Flash Player, Dev to Content Distributed Networks. Flash Player delivers files through P2P technology with Flash 10.1, which means that Adobe eliminates the cost of bandwidth by using P2P technology. Instead of downloading delivery files using specified bandwidth and protocol, P2P Flash players are normally implemented in major websites, especially in videos. Example like Flash videos on miniclip.com. The Flash videos are downloaded through P2P, which is free to the website developers. Thus, developers do not need to set the bandwidth for each user who downloads that Flash video. With P2P, Flash is able to deliver video using minimal or no central server bandwidth. P2P also include Flash-based multiplayer games and real-time communication tools. Last but not least, peer-to-peer is cost-effective due to no bandwidth cost. Due to the fact that no central server to control the bandwidth, it is just based on the limitations of the PC connected to it. It is also easier to set up by just connecting or configuring directly to the user or PC. The P2P architecture is vulnerable because there is no admin control or centralized server. It has security flaws due to easy access. PCs that are connected to one another with full permission, making threats easier to move around. To avoid such threats, it should be used in a secure connection, and it is heavily relied on those secure connections to prevent threats. In terms of gaming, it is more suitable for RTS games due to synchronization. Other genre types of games have other multiplayer network architecture, but it all depends on how the data move in the game itself.